Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Cutting Through Conversations That Go Beyond the Plate. Sorry about the interruption. I guess that's a bit like working from home, the challenges. So we've got another session today, and where we're going back to the farm to produce and seeing where our products come from, how things come into place, how things come into the market, and what happens with them. So I'm waiting for Ashok to kind of get on board and to see how we can take this forward. So Ashok, you need to send in a request. I can see that you are here right now. Just waiting for Ashok to get on board. But as I mentioned, we're talking about cage-free eggs, and we're talking about why they are so expensive and what makes them different. Okay, we've got Ashok here. Yeah, and what is so important about cage-free eggs and what makes them different? Hi, Ashok. I can see you. You need to tilt your camera a bit.
Hi, Antoine. Just about adjusting that camera.
Yeah. So yeah, and we're going to be exploring all about eggs and where, what can be done with them, what in the sense of why that we have gone into a different method of production, why these farmers have gone into a different method, and how
You
they have
want to know?
chosen to stay away from battery eggs and industrial farm production. So while Ashok figures out his camera and gets set, I also
Is
have to
that
let you
Antoine?
know I can hear you, Ashok, but I can't see you too well, and the camera is still tilted in the wrong way. So I'm
No,
just
I think
waiting for.
right from my end.
Okay,
On top
okay.
you have, and on the bottom of the screen I have it.
We can't quite see you. There's a more of a static image. But anyway, we will continue with the sound since we can hear you quite clearly.
Yeah, go
Just
on.
give me a second. And so, as I was saying, there's also a reason why I'm doing this, and I have to explain that to you, which is that I am also part of the cage-free egg campaign, and I work with farmers like Ashok and people from other groups. So I consult with the Humane Society of India, which is helping, uh, which is promoting animal welfare courses in India, and Cage Free is one of those campaigns. Uh, Ashok is has been doing this for a very long time. He's one of the most seasoned cage free farmers. I think he's been an inspiration for a lot of people actually to get into this field. So Ashok, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Our
Uh,
pleasure.
Ashok, will you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into this?
So the thing is that we started in 2010 on in the free range and cage free layer farming. But basically,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have any poultry background. But
Okay.
out of our quest of providing good food for my kids, it's more of
Mm-hmm.
a selfish thing than rather than what you can say as I'm just planning something for the good of the whole society. It's of a selfish
Okay.
thing which just started, and thereafterwards, I just got to know that there is a big vacuum which has been not filled by
Okay.
the industry because people are looking for ethical food from the 2010 onwards, but the
Right.
numbers are different from 2010 and 2020. But
Mm-hmm.
today we can say that there are about 2% of the total population are very much aware of the ethical food process or ethical food production process. But
Right.
in 2010, it was not that good. But I came from a herbal trade background. My
Okay.
basic business is medicinal plants trade to big companies like Himalaya, Dabur, Natural Remedies, and things like that. So I
Mm-hmm.
had some kind of a medicinal plants knowledge, and that I implanted in the poultry domain. So
Okay.
that's how we started.
Okay. 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 And Ashok, you are also the spokesperson for the cage-free egg producers. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, a lot of people don't actually understand the differences between the various categories of eggs. So, will you quickly take us through what does it mean when we say battery or factory farmed, cage free, free range, and I think we've got additional labels in terms of organic and fortification. So, will you quickly take us through these five concepts?
Yeah, one battery cages are only a hen lives the whole life in one particular A-sheet size, paper size shell, and what you can call as a lifetime cell. And
Right.
the cage free is where the birds are given full freedom and
Yeah.
given a space of around, say, like 2.5 to 3 square feet in most cases, and 2 square feet in some cases. And the
Okay.
birds only are kept inside a big barn, and they are
Okay.
not allowed to roam outside and have the sunlight and roam around and have duck bath or anything. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a cage-free operation, and in free range, the birds are let out early in the morning, and they only come for laying into the sheds for feed or water, and
Mm-hmm.
they are coming in the night time for their shelter. And
Right.
in terms of organic labeling, I feel in India the organic labeling is not possible at the moment. Maybe in
Mm-hmm.
future that is possible. And the
Okay.
fortification is almost a decade old in India. But
Okay.
cage-free fortification and free-range code fortification has been not done by the what you can say as a large industry of as a poultry as an industry.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
You got
And
it.
when you say battery age, the birds are in a cage. Is it just one bird in the cage, or are there multiple birds in
No,
one
no,
cage?
we are just only calculating the size available, space available for the bird. That is a A4 sheet size. But about 7 or 8 birds kept in a one big cage. That actually
Seven or
accounts
eight
to
birds. Oh.
yeah, 7 or 8 birds, and that only accounts to 7 or 8 A4 sheet size.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Wow. So that's an incredibly crowded kind of scenario for the birds. I imagine there would be any space to move at all.
Exactly, exactly. That is no at all, no possibility at all of expressing or spreading their wings itself is hard.
Okay, okay. Now tell me, when you say we talk about cage free and free range, uh, how many producers do we have of this kind in India, and where all are they present?
In all across India, there are, say, like, as far as my knowledge is concerned, and I'm just talking about branded people. And
Okay.
there are about 7 to 8 brands which are very well known, and
Mm-hmm.
they are doing a sizable operation. And
Okay.
there is a company in Hyderabad, there is a company in Maharashtra, and there is a
Mm-hmm.
company in Nagpur area. There are people are there, and
Okay.
if you want the exact numbers at the moment, the branded people are the recognized cage-free operators. As we assume, there will be
Yeah.
around 7 or 8 brands.
7 or 8 cage free and free range together, or just 7 or 8 cage free?
Cage-free, you can call it cage-free 7 or 8, and free range. I don't really see 1 or 2 people are doing it.
Okay, okay. Now, is it when we're talking about battery and cage-free or free range, are they the same kind of birds that are being used in both situations?
Yeah, in cage free as well as in free range, the birds are breeds which are used are
Yeah.
almost the same because
Okay.
when we actually are talking about the exotic breeds, say like
Right.
white leghorns as a layer. and
Mm-hmm.
they are a white-shelled egg. In
Mm-hmm.
India, if we have to differentiate cage-free and free-range, we have to get into the brown shell market. We can't
Right.
sell white egg and differentiate it into cage-free or free-range.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
we
So
were actually in a position only using improved native breeds.
improve native breeds. What are those?
Improved native breeds are 70% criteria for I mean domestic breeds, and 30% egg laying criteria or any particular criteria of an exotic breed, which is combined together, and this is a selective sexing process.
Okay. So give us some names, for instance. What are indigenous breeds that we are talking about?
Kaveri, Gramapriya, Indbro, and Kalinga Brown, and there are a lot of breeds out there,
Okay. Okay.
including.
So So let's get to the crux of the matter, and that is the cost. Why actually are cage-free eggs so much more expensive than your normal batch eggs? What are these input costs that that cause this difference?
The bottom line of this problem is the productivity. Wherein
Okay.
factory model, they produce around say 95-96% of the hens housed per day. But
Hmm.
where you take it in a cage free or free range, the maximum is 75%. That is the difference.
Okay.
That
Could
is
you
the difference.
elaborate? Uh, 75% is the egg laying capacity, or what is the 75 and 90 that we're talking about?
Yeah, 75 means that the thing is that when you have 100 hens in a house, and
Right.
only 75 will be laying per day. So comparatively, around 25%, 20 to 25% difference in the commercial sector and this particular cage free and free range.
Okay. So basically, you're saying that if you had to move to different birds, then the this thing production would go up.
Sorry, can I get you again?
No. So are you saying that if you move to different birds, that the capacity would go up to 90%, or how would you bridge that 75 and 90% difference?
The possibilities are there, but we have to acclimatize the exotic breeds or heritage breeds, which
Mm-hmm.
are like white Lagoon or ISA brown or what you can say Rhode Island red, and these and black Astrolab from Australia, and all these breeds are actually exotic breeds. They are not accustomed to the Indian climatic conditions, and
Mm-hmm.
when we try, say like for example, we have tried white Lagons in cage-free operations, but the thing
Right.
is that they are very much confined to very limited area. So when they are given a larger area to roam around in cage-free or free range,
Right.
they are prone to diseases, and that disease possibility is higher compared to the improved native breed along with the exotic breed.
Okay. Okay. So they're not even comfortable in a situation where they'll be allowed to roam. So they are actually more comfortable in a caged environment. Would that be fair to
Uh,
say?
that can be taken in a way, but we are not certain at the moment. But we are trying our best to just make sure these birds will adapt to our method of rearing. And
Mm-hmm.
in some cases, we are finding success, but it will take time before we can go along that way.
Okay. So now just to understand in terms of numbers, when you say 90 and 75%, how much do these birds actually lay, say, per year or per month or something? What is the absolute numbers that we're talking about?
See, the per year capacity of our birds, which we are rearing, it's around say like 200 to 220 eggs per year, and
Right.
that is our capacity at the moment. But
Mm-hmm.
we never have any artificial strategies to boost the egg laying capacity, because we just want to sell the natural product to the best possible value. That is what these ethical food
So,
production is all about.
so sorry. So Ashok, 220 is yours. So that represents 75%. Is that right?
Approximately 65 to 70. Yeah, you can take
So
take that.
what would be 100% then exactly?
300 to 305. I
So
mean,
okay,
that's about around say like 95% or something.
okay, and in terms of input cost, are the input costs the same for both processes? And here I'm comparing battery farming with cage free. So I'm going to use cage free and free range as one thing. I'm going to club them together so I don't have to keep repeating. And
Yeah.
we're just going to compare with battery farming with cage free. So are the input costs the same for in both situations?
No, our input cost is a little bit higher. I mean, in cage-free operations, the birds have work a lot. I mean, they run around and they fly around, and they eat and consume more. When a bird is kept in a static position, that eats less, and the what you can say as a costing of the feeding is different. In cage-free, the birds eat a lot more, say like 10 to 20 grams extra.
Okay, and is this feed that is supplied to them, or is this? I'm guessing the free range will go out and eat, but with the cage free and the battery, the feed would be about the same. The
No, actually, in cage free or free range or what you can say as factory model, the
hmm,
feed plays a major role, and that constitute to around 70 to 78% of the total cost of production. I mean,
okay.
so there is not much difference in cage free or free range. You have to give the feed, but the supplementation can be had when the birds roam around and they go
Okay.
for grazing and they find bugs and they eat larvae or anything that available on the ground. So that is
Hmm.
different, but that adds to the quality, but that doesn't contribute towards the saving of the feed cost.
It doesn't contribute. But
Yeah.
does it add to the feed cost in any way? Because you also have to kind of create an environment. I mean, especially with free range, you have to create an environment where all these bugs and all these other plants that that they eat grow. Isn't that right?
No, no. As I told you, that is not available all through the year. See, for example, in certain seasons of the Indian climate,
Hmm.
certain insects will come up. Certain creepers are coming in, and certain flies will lay their eggs in cow dung and nearly available decomposable organic matters, and that's
Okay.
provide the larval support and things like that. But
Right.
it's 100% artificially built in for the foraging.
Okay. Okay. So right now, what is the price difference exactly between a battery farm and a cage-free farm in terms of a per egg cost?
See, at the moment, the normal egg is sold in the nearby what you can say as um, uh, kirana stores, and which is actually around 6 rupees at the
Right.
moment. And I'm
Right.
just talking about the current situation. And
Hmm.
whereas compared to the cage free, it's all around say like 10 rupees per egg. So that is normal. But when we do some kind of a fortification, the price
Hmm.
automatically goes up.
Okay.
Three factors decide the price. One, the productivity of the birds. Number two, the
Right.
cost of the feed depending upon the market ingredient availability. Third, the what kind of fortification you do. And the fourth is these kind of operations are rare. One has to get these eggs from south of India, from a place called Trichy to
Right.
Mumbai to on Lewis to have it. So these things of logistical things and other material costings add to the costing. But
Right.
when we decentralize this model and spread this activity to the whole of India, we may get the produce to a little affordable side. But I don't see cheaper price will not give you the best possible food you will expect in your plate.
Why is that? Why would it not?
See, when I try to find a cheaper product for you, I will
Mm-hmm.
try to compensate it on my feed ingredients, the quality of the ingredients, and things like that. So automatically the quality will decrease. See, today or in about 10 years down the line or 20 years down the line, these cage-free and free-range eggs will be costlier because of the kind of operations and because of these productivity differences and the feed usage and the other logistical things are contributing to the higher price. But I don't see when you are looking at a good food or a choice of food,
Right.
that comes up with the price. That comes up with the price. That cannot be cheaper. That is available in the malls and supermarkets.
Okay. Well, I speak to a lot of chefs. I speak to a lot of produce managers, and they say, well, I mean, their point is they're looking in the opposite direction. Actually, they're saying, well, once the market expands, once there are more producers, once it becomes there are more efficiencies, we expect prices to come down actually, and we expect maybe say 2x or something of that sort. So, or
You mean to say
as
that 12 rupees?
yeah, so that it would be more or less competitive with battery. So, but you're saying that that is not likely to happen.
Yeah, I can assure you that, Antoine, the thing is that when you are having eggs from the nearby dukan and you
Yeah,
are just taking the eggs as eggs, you don't have any package, you don't have any description, you don't have any labeling, you don't have any certifications.
right.
So when you want all these in a package, it has its own cost inbuilt. So we cannot say on a whole that we are in the very near future we will be getting a very nearby price to the what is the conventional store-bought egg. That is not a possibility at all.
Okay. So, for instance, we have Anjit Pratap who asked, I mean, what about economies of scale? I mean, is there, if the production size goes up and say, like, we have one of these battery farms, even
Mm.
in that kind of a situation, you're not looking really at the price coming down.
See, price will come down automatically. See, for example, today an average cage-free egg is sold at around 10 rupees to say like 15 rupees. That is
Right,
the maximum of the available brands in the shelf.
right,
Some
right,
brands are selling it at 90 rupees per 6 eggs, which is around costing you around 15 rupees per egg. And some are selling it at 10 rupees or 12 rupees. So the thing is
right,
that this may come down by slightly 1 or 2 rupees on a
right.
whole. But
Hmm.
this may not lead you to very drastic comparison towards the industrial egg production.
Okay, okay. Now, one of the things that you talked about was certification.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure that there is no certification in India right now.
Yeah.
What would be the advantage of certification? Who would it really benefit?
It benefits the customers first because
Okay,
I am a brand owner and a lot of my friends are brand owners. And here I am not talking about the benefits of the brand people or the
okay,
companies.
okay.
In today, because there is an awareness growing, there is a danger added to that, that there is a lot of possibilities of you are getting fake in terms of labeling. Say, someone will be labeling their egg as cage free and free range, but you don't have any authentication or any
Hmm.
authorization from any organization or anybody.
Okay.
The label may claim that they have done so, they are this and that, but there
Hmm.
is no transparency or traceability at the available at the moment. So we have to quickly come to a stage where we have to build an association or an organization which can actually define who are the legitimate production people of cage free or free range, and these things have to be defined very quickly. Otherwise, a lot of duplication will come into the market. That's also happening now.
It's already happening right now.
Yeah, it's happening also already happening in the whole of India.
Okay, okay. So, just one question about the eggs, and a lot of people are get kind of confused on the issue, is that cage-free and free-range eggs have to be brown. Now, in my
Hmm,
experience,
I,
they're
yeah.
they're not always brown. And also more problematically, uh, the ones that are brown, if you wash them, they do lose color, and which is like pretty much like the fake eggs, which are dipped in tea to give
Mm,
them the color.
mm,
So, is there a
mm.
way to actually, for a customer, to tell whether an egg is authentic in terms of being cage free or not?
See, mostly at the moment, one can actually sure of what he's having or she's having
Hmm.
by tasting the eggs, because your tongue and your stomach will never lie to you, and that is the best possible lab you will find in India at the moment. But when
But
you
Ashok,
have,
that is after the fact. That is after you've broken the egg. But if you're just
yeah,
visually looking at it,
no,
uh,
there is no possibility at all, Antoine. The thing is that unfortunately, there is no possibility that you tell that this is a free range or it's a cage free egg and it is a conventional caged egg or what. But
okay,
what the other question you came up is that why we have to be brown eggs. The thing
yeah,
is that the common mindset of the Indian population is used to having white eggs.
yeah,
So when we have to tell them that our eggs are different and more healthier and more humane, and then we have to differentiate it with the instantly with the color.
right, right,
If in future we will have the what you can say as the traceability factors or
hmm,
the legitimacy of a particular farm or a farmer or a company in the
hmm,
cage free sector or a free range sector, and once the people find it, these people are cage free, these people are free range,
hmm,
then
hmm.
we may get white eggs in that label also, because these
Oh,
white lagoons certainly will lay more eggs, and there is a possibility that will bring the price a little bit down.
okay, okay, okay. That's really interesting. I never considered that as a possibility or that as a future direction. Um, the other thing I wanted to talk about was traceability, because that's one of the big buzzwords today, and that's something that's very important. At
Mm.
the moment, for the ones for the authentic, for the true cage-free producers, do you think that there is a level of traceability that has been built into your systems?
When you ask me as a spokesperson for the cage-free people I'm representing at the moment,
Yeah.
unfortunately, there is no system is in place for real traceability. But
Okay.
some of our colleagues are in dialogue. We are actually trying hard to come up with a system where
Okay.
we can place a particular egg which is sold in a Mumbai main area, and
Right.
we can trace it back to Bihar or any
Okay.
Assam or anywhere, which
Right.
farmer grew it and where on what date it is made. And these systems are being built at the moment with a lot of consensus from other collaborators. And HSI's Lakshmi is also in the line, and you are also a active participant in that thing. So the thing is
Hmm.
that very soon we will have a very good structure where these questions will be answered in a legitimate manner.
Okay. But this will also will be an additional cost and will raise the cost of the eggs, won't
No,
it?
no, no, no. I don't really see that, because see, certifications are actually built up in a way.
Hmm.
Antoine, don't take me wrong, because I'm not a conventional guy who just came from a university or whatever that educational institutions have just put your in your mind. And
Right.
I really believe that certifications can be done in a very affordable way, but in a very legitimate manner. I don't see the costing is actually doing the difference, because see, I have a plan which I will elaborate whenever there is a next possibility, that we will be actually having three segments. One, a very small and marginal farmer who will be having around 50 birds to 500 birds, another
Right.
farmer who will be having around 1,000 to 2,000 birds,
Right.
and big companies that is around 2,000 to 5,000 or whatever the numbers. These three categories have to be compiled in a association or an organization where
Yeah.
you can actually go in and just key a name, and
Yeah.
that particular farmer's details will come in. How many birds he has, and how many eggs he is producing per day, and where he is located, and whom he is supplying to. For example, when you have this database uploaded in an organization, a lot of new brands will come up. When the lot of new brands will come up, these small and marginal farmers will have a better price, and even the city and rural people will have a lot of choices, because India is a population of 130 crores, and
Right. Yeah.
there is 7 brands cannot serve the whole country.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great. Well, Ashok, thank you so much for joining us. As always, you leave us far more informed than when we started out with. You are like your wisdom and your knowledge on the subject is like really fantastic. So thank you for being here with us and kind of explaining what really goes into cage-free egg production or free-range egg production. Thank you everyone for joining us and for being a part of this conversation. I will see all of you on Monday at 6 p.m. But I've got a slightly unique session plan. It's not going to be with one speaker. It's going to be with 5 speakers. I'm not going to let you know the subject right away. I'm going to let that be a bit of a surprise. So do look out for the invites. Do look out for the information on the next session. And so thank you everyone once again. Stay safe, stay well, have a great week.